discuss factors affecting the murmur intensity. This section is very important for all the final year MBBS students, medicine PG residents, and in general practice as well. So, the first rule of factors affecting the murmur is a very simple rule. That rule says whenever blood flow increases, blood flow increases through a defect, all murmur will increase. As simple as that. And second rule is whenever blood flow reduces, murmur will reduce. Notably, there will be two exceptions to this rule, that the murmur of mitral valve prolapse and HOCM, they decrease. Whenever blood flow increases, these murmurs they decrease. Other way around, if the blood flow is reduced, all the murmur will reduce, but MVP and HOCM murmur will increase. We will understand this exception subsequently. The third rule says that whenever pressure gradient increase, pressure gradient which is creating the murmur will increase without any exception. While number 4 is whenever pressure gradient reduces, murmur will reduce. No exception to this rule. So let's understand ki what are those maneuver which changes the blood flow to the defect, as well as the maneuvers which changes the pressure gradient. We will take individual examples as well. Now coming to the maneuvers. The number 1 maneuver is respiration. Respiratory phase. So during the inspiratory phase, blood flow, it increases on right side of the heart, right side of heart. So then what will be the effect of right-sided murmurs? Right-sided murmur will increase. That is obvious. During the inspiratory phase, there is a negative intrathoracic pressure. So more blood return will come to the heart, to the right side of the heart due to negative intrathoracic pressure. So the murmur of tricuspid stenosis, tricuspid regurgitation, pulmonary stenosis, pulmonary regurgitation, they all will increase. This is the effect of the right side. While blood flow, it reduces on left side of the heart. So as a result, the left sided murmur will reduce. Mitral stenosis, mitral regurgitation, aortic stenosis, aortic regurgitation will reduce. But the left sided murmur, that is MVP and HOCM, they will increase. They follow the exception. Now coming to the second maneuver, and the second maneuver is the venous return to the heart. So venous return to the heart. So if the venous return is reduced, murmur will reduce. Venous return increase, murmur will increase, whether it is a right side murmur or left side murmur. So venous return, the maneuver which are done here is patient is in a supine position and passive leg raising. Passive leg raising is the maneuver which is done. So this maneuver, obviously this increases the venous return into the heart, so increase blood flow into heart, whether it is right side or left side, there will be increased blood flow. That means all murmurs will increase. All murmurs will increase, whether it is a right side murmur or left sided murmur. The murmur which will reduce are same exception, MVP and HOCM, they will reduce. Now, the second maneuver which affect the venous return is sudden standing. So obviously, if patient is suddenly standing, there will be decreased blood flow or venous return to the heart. Blood flow into heart, whether it right side or left side. That means the effect of sudden standing is a decreased blood flow. So all murmurs will reduce. All murmur will reduce with the same exception that MVP and HOCM will increase. Now comes the Valsalva maneuver or Valsalva effect. This is one of the favorite question of the examiner in Viva as well. Ki what is the effect of the Valsalva to the venous return into the heart? So Valsalva maneuver is a persistent expiratory phase against a closed glottis. The key word is persistent. Persistent means when patient is having expiratory phase, so the intrathoracic pressure is increased. So the venous return to the heart is reduced. Venous return to the heart is reduced. So all murmur will reduce, because if the blood is going less to the right side, obviously the blood going to the left will also subsequently reduces. So due to persistent expiratory efforts, there is a positive intrathoracic pressure. Intrathoracic pressure. So as a result, decrease blood flow or blood return to the heart, blood flow into heart. Therefore, all murmurs reduce. Murmurs reduce, and the murmur of HOCM and MVP will increase. They follow the exception. All right, one more important point is in the respiratory phase. We have done the inspiration, but what about the expiration? So expiration has a different response. So expiration, the blood flow, it, because expiration is a positive intrathoracic pressure, so decrease blood flow on right side of the heart. Therefore, the murmur of right side TS, TR, PS, PR, they will reduce. While expiration, expiratory phase, the lung parenchyma squeezes the pulmonary vessels, and when the pulmonary vessels are squeezed, their blood flow to the left will increase. The blood return into the left side of the heart will increase. So increase on left side. So left side murmurs like murmur of MS, MR, AS, AR will increase. Same exception, MVP and HOCM, they will reduce. They follow the exception. So this is of the expiratory phase effort, but this has to be differentiated from a Valsalva maneuver. Remember, the Valsalva maneuver is a persistent effort. So the first blood flow will reduce to the right side of the heart. After a few cardiac cycle, blood return to the left will also reduce. It will also reduce. Now the third effect is of afterload. Afterload, or we can say systemic vascular resistance. Vascular resistance. So systemic vascular resistance or afterload, obviously it will affect the left side of the murmurs. Left side of the heart murmurs will be affected. Mostly the murmurs of aortic stenosis and aortic regurgitation will be affected. So let's see how the systemic vascular resistance can be changed. So if we give vasodilator, so the systemic vascular resistance reduces. Systemic vascular resistance reduces. So we can say that aorta pressure is reduced. So just for understanding point of view, aorta pressure is reduced. While if we give vasoconstrictor agents like phenylephrine or sustained hand grip, or if a bilateral arm cuff compression is done, bilateral arm cuff compression is done. So all of these will increase the systemic vascular resistance, or you can say aorta pressure will be increased. Iota pressure will be increased. So these are the effect. Now let's see what is the meaning of a pressure gradient. Pressure gradient means the difference in the pressure of proximal chamber to distal chamber. Proximal chamber is the chamber from where the blood is going into the other chamber. The other chamber will be known as a distal chamber. For example we will take as aortic stenosis. So aortic stenosis is the murmur which is going from left ventricle to aorta. Left ventricle to aorta. This is aortic stenosis. So the aortic stenosis pressure gradient will be calculated like this. Pressure gradient. The proximal chamber here is left ventricle. So left ventricle pressures in systole minus aorta pressure in systole. So this is a pressure gradient. So if any maneuver which is decreasing the aorta pressure like vasodilator, amyl nitrate is a vasodilator. So what will happen? Just apply a normal mathematics. So LV pressures minus, if the aorta pressures are reduced, if this parameter is reduced, LV pressure say we say is remaining constant. So what will happen to the pressure gradient? If aorta pressure is reduced, this difference will increase. Pressure gradient will increase. Murmur will increase. So if the pressure gradient is increasing, murmur will also increase. This is just a simple mathematic. You decrease the aorta pressure. If aorta pressure is reduced, this equation will give the answer as ki gradient is increasing. Other way around, if anything which is increasing the iota pressures, so if iota pressure is increased, the difference of LV pressure minus iota pressure will reduce. In that condition, so for these the pressure gradient here will be of aortic stenosis, pressure gradient is LV pressures minus iota pressures. So if you increase the iota pressures, so look at what will happen to the equation. The equation will reduce. The pressure gradient will be reduced. Pressure gradient reduce, murmur will reduce. So this is the effect of aortic stenosis. Now let's see the aortic regurgitation. Aortic regurgitation. Aortic regurgitation is blood is going from the aorta back into the left ventricle. This is the blood flow. This is the blood flow for aortic regurgitation. So just calculating the pressure gradient here. The pressure gradient here will be aorta will be taken first, aorta pressure, because blood is going from aorta to the left ventricle. So aorta become a proximal chamber now. Do not look at the anatomical aspects. Look at the aspects of blood flow direction. So blood flow direction is from aorta to left ventricle. So aorta is a proximal chamber and left ventricle is a distal chamber. So if the maneuver is reducing the iota pressures, so you can see pressure gradient will reduce, the murmur will reduce. So if you give vasodilator agents, the murmur will reduce. Similarly, if we give a vasoconstrictor or anything which is increasing the iota pressures, so let's see what will happen to this gradient. Iota pressure is increasing, LV pressure constant, so the difference will increase, murmur will increase. So the opposite response of AS and AR will happen. Now coming to the murmur of one more example we take is the murmur of mitral regurgitation. So mitral regurgitation is the blood going into the aorta from left ventricle, as well as blood is going into left atria also. This is the murmur of the mitral regurgitation. This is mitral regurgitation. Now what will happen if iota pressure are reduced? If the iota pressure are reduced, I will make two diagrams here. So this is Aorta pressures are reduced, and this is aorta pressures increase. Two maneuvers. Let's see. So if the aorta pressure is reduced, so you can see from the left ventricle there are two route of blood going into the aorta, and second route is into left atria. So if aorta pressure is reduced, aorta resistance is reduced, obviously more blood will go in this direction. So this will happen, more blood will go to the aorta, less blood will go to the left atria, less blood will go here. So whenever aorta pressure is reduced, MR murmur will reduce. MR will reduce. Similarly, if the aorta pressures are increased, you compress the aorta, you are increasing the aorta resistance, so the blood flow into the aorta will be less blood in this direction. So obviously more blood will go to the regurgitant side, so murmur will increase. Similarly, if VSD, look at the VSD, ventricle septal defect. So this is the VSD, left ventricle blood is going into aorta. It is going into aorta as well as it is going into right ventricle. So apply the same thing. If the aorta pressures are reduced, this column is reduction in the aorta pressure. So more blood will go towards the aorta side and less blood will go towards the right ventricle side. So the murmur will reduce of VSD. And the same thing if you apply, if aorta pressures are increased, you compress the aorta pressure are increased, so what will happen, less blood will go towards the aorta side from the left ventricle and more blood will go to the right ventricle side, so if more blood is going, murmur will increase. So this is the effect of the afterload or a systemic vascular resistance. Now the other is this maneuver of a sustained hand grip will differentiate a murmur of HOCM from MVP. Like we have seen, HOCM and MVP, they are exceptions. Whenever blood flow reduced, those murmur increase, and whenever blood flow is reduced, those murmur will increase. So how to differentiate them? To differentiate the murmur of HOCM, just do a sustained hand grip. So this is one of the maneuver which can differentiate the murmur of HOCM and MVP, sustained hand grip. So the murmur of HOCM is from left ventricle to aorta, though the obstruction is at the level of subvalvular area due to the hypertrophied septum. The obstruction is here, and this is MVP, mitral valve prolapse. So mitral valve prolapse is nothing but a late systolic MR murmur. So what will happen? If there is a sustained hand grip, aorta pressure is increased. So obviously the gradient, left ventricle pressure minus aorta pressures of HOCM, this is HOCM. So if you are increasing the aorta pressures, you are reducing the pressure gradient. This is the pressure gradient of HOCM. LV pressures minus aorta pressures. So if the aorta pressure is increased, the pressure gradient will reduce. So the murmur of HOCM reduces with sustained hand grip. While here if you increase the aorta pressure, so obviously the blood which goes towards the left atrial side will increase. It will increase the gradient. So the gradient here was LV pressures minus LA pressures. So if you are increasing the aorta pressures, obviously the pressure on the left ventricle will increase indirectly. And if the left ventricle pressures are increased, this gradient will increase. This is the gradient of MVP, LV pressures minus LE pressures. So indirectly we are increasing the LV pressures here. So LV pressures increase, the gradient will increase, murmur of MVP increases. It will increase. So different response with the maneuver in sustained hand grip to HOCM and the MVP. And then there is one more maneuver that is known as post extrasystolic beat, or post PVC, premature ventricle contraction beat. So what happens in a post premature ventricle contraction? So this is suppose a normal cardiac cycle, and here the next cycle should have come. This should be the next cycle, and third cycle is this cycle, normal. So if the premature ventricle contraction occur, premature ventricle contraction means ki there is extra systole here, so this will come prematurely, this contraction will come prematurely here. So what happens during this time? Ventricle get more time to fill with the blood, so there will be increased left ventricle blood, there will be more increased left ventricle blood. So due to Frank-Starling law, LV contractions will increase. LV contractions will increase. Now, if the LV contractions will increase, there will be more blood flow, increase blood flow through aortic valve. Through the aortic valve. This will happen. So, in a murmur of AS, post PVC beat, increase blood flow through aortic valve, murmur will increase. But if there is a murmur of MR, this has to be differentiated from the murmur of MR. So in the murmur of MR, the blood is going through aorta as well as through the mitral valve. So what will happen? The murmur of MR, if there is a more blood here, the more blood will go towards the aorta side. This blood remain constant. So this is constant blood which is going into the left atria. So no change in the murmur, because whatever more blood accumulated in the left ventricle, extra blood will not go back. Extra blood will go towards the aorta side. Extra blood, this was the extra blood of post extrasystolic beat. So this will go towards the aorta side, not towards the left ventricle side. So there will be no change in the murmur of MR, post extrasystolic beat. So these were the common maneuvers. So if you have any doubts or any query, you can put in the comment section. Now my question to you is, you can put your question to the in the comment section. So tell me, what will happen to the murmur of MS mitral stenosis after amyl nitrate? Amyl nitrate is a vasodilator. So this is the question to all of you.